Hello, ladies. Whoa, that's capping out. Hello. No, still too much. Hello. There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Skullgirls Get Gr8. This is the audio test. We will be starting soon, and by really, I mean really, really soon. Apologize for the very ghetto setup we got this time going, as I didn't have a computer till about 2 minutes ago. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and get that sorted out. Thank you all very much for your patience. We will get the stream going in no time. Because it's showtime. Going with the flow time. Where's the Twitch chat? Here's the Twitch chat. Wait a minute. There we go. Twitch chat. Hey, Benny. Glad you're here. My brain is so spacey right now. This is weird. Alright. Copy link. Then, where's the chat room? Copy this link too. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What am I doing with my life? I'm trying to do this. I remember now. Yes. Of course. Do that a little bit over there. That or that. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Man, my voice is a few octaves too low for me. Alright, that's fine though. We got a friend in here. We got good old Dry Eyes. Dang, Dry Eyes. Get some of that moisturizer shit. Watch, I don't know, what's a good anime that makes you cry? People in chat, what's a good anime that makes people cry? Or bad anime that makes people cry. That's fine too, actually. I don't really care. I only got a few people in chat. I'm kind of surprised. Coconut Basket does not make anyone cry. Angel Anything will not make people cry. An anime you made? Dang. The ending of Angel Beats. Angel Beats is almost good. There's just a critical flaw in the plot that makes no sense. Like, oh god, I don't want to spoil Angel Beats on stream. Does anyone care if I spoil Angel Beats on stream? Fully Cooley never makes me cry, but I get it. Fully Cooley's about is just like a Hana. Oh, that sounds familiar. Like friendship and basketball. Sure, but it's not like a. If someone needed a cathartic cry, you're not gonna be like Kokoro no Basket. Whee! You're not gonna do that. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, if you are participating today, please be in the Steam group chat. That's what I will be using to invite you to our lobby. Did Crank's voice get deeper? No, I'm sick. Well, not sick. It's like I was sick, and then when I thought I wasn't sick, I got hungover. It's like residue sick, I guess. That sounds gross. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I wish I never said that. Alright. Let's see, what else? I think it might be good to get started. Let me see if anyone last minute tried to join. Nope. We seem to be good. Did I make note of my horrible crime? Yeah, I did. Okay. Good. Okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Wait, are we? Give me a second. Give me a hot second. That's not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Grave of the Firefly. Oh my god. I haven't seen it yet, but that one's cheating. I feel like giving that one as a movie, anime movie, that makes people want to cry. And also, a emphasis on cathartic cry. Like, I think, if I remember correctly, I haven't watched this anime yet, but because I'm saving it for a day where I want to kill myself. But I've heard Graves of the Fireflies is not a cathartic cry. It's just sort of like I want to die cry. Bridge to Terabithia. I haven't read it. I watched the movie. That shit got to me. I'm the only person I know who didn't cry to Grave of the Fireflies. See, I don't think I'm gonna cry to Grave of the Fireflies, but people insist I'm going to die. So I can't wait to see that shit. That's gonna be whack. But no, for reals, does anyone care if I spoil Angel Beats? Because I want to talk about how Angel Beats is really bad. Until someone says otherwise on chat, I'm just going to go ahead and start the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Skullgirls Get Gr8. What we try to do here is we match you up against an even opponent, relatively speaking. And we try to make sure... we try to provide constructive criticism to your play. So we try to give you advice on what you need to do to, like, really improve, but not necessarily completely fix all the problems. Not all at once, at least. Because improvement comes in steps. We can't tell you everything you're doing wrong and then just move on with our lives, right? That doesn't work that way. So we expect you guys to practice every week, come back. And if you guys don't practice every week, that's still fine. Use Get Gr8 as your weekly motivation to practice. Ideally, you're practicing more than once a week, because practicing once a week is usually not enough to improve. But if you practice about just like one other time throughout the week, it'll be good. Or if you just want to play with all of us and have a good time, it's also okay. It's also just okay. Man, I am stumbling over words real bad right now. That's okay. Oh god, I haven't drank anything in like 20 hours. And the last thing I drank was alcohol. What's wrong with me? All right. We're going to go ahead and get the first matchup started. We're going to get Dry Eyes versus their opponent. I know their opponent. Why am I stumbling over this? This is so silly. Their opponent is Jonathan Hills. I know that. Well, I knew that. Why? What's wrong with me? All right, Jonathan Hills, if you're here, please join the thing. I'm gonna see if I can add you in the Twitch chat. Invite to Skullgirls lobby. Let's go. All right. It'll be you two versus each other. I gave Dry Eyes some, what's it called? One-on-one constructive criticism last time, if I remember correctly. Although I haven't played last week, so I don't know what Dry Eyes did last week. Jonathan Hills, I've seen him before. He's been around. I'm kind of surprised he signed up as a beginner, though. I kind of want to see what he's doing differently if he thinks he's a beginner. Is that a new team, or what's going on with that? Go drink non-OH. Non-OH? I mean, HO is hydrogen oxide. Hydrogen monoxide, I should say. Which is not a thing. It's like not a real fluid. What's OH? I don't know. Let's focus on what's going on here. Alright, so Jonathan Hills is playing Eliza like he wants to space out with the boys, so to speak. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be working super well. Eliza's not really the character you want to do that with. Throwing out the throne every now and then, which is, I think, the light kick one. I think. Yeah. I think heavy kick is the sewer one. The medium kick is bird insurance, which is your best one. And the throne is light kick. It's a quarter something light kick. Yeah, so those each have a very niche move, or niche purpose. The throne can be occasionally used to, like, stumble or trip up somebody who's, like, constantly throwing out attacks or whatever, like full screen. It's not really, it doesn't have too much of a purpose. It's actually fairly rare to see it used. Bird insurance is what you use at the end of block screen, or block strings, because it just beats the heck out of everybody who tries to do anything. It's super, super useful. There are ways to get around bird insurance, but I want to see Dry Eyes struggle against bird insurance a little bit to see if he figures it out himself right now. And then also it hits overhead. So there's your overhead. So if you're doing a block string and ended in something safe, it's just bird insurance. It's like if they did anything, they get hecked up. See, nice. You block that and just punished. Eliza was actually doing something incredibly unsafe after bird insurance, because bird insurance does have blocks done to it, but it's enough to make you safe if you're grounded. If you jump up and try to press any buttons, that takes way too much time, and Dry Eyes can press a heavy button, like standing hard punch, and was able to punish you for that. As for the sewer one is what you really want to be using in neutral. Like when people are just really far away and like they're just pressing buttons or doing whatever, that's the one that's going to let you convert and do all sorts of fun things with. The throne has a very niche purpose. It's just like you don't actually want to convert, you're just trying to like zone them out and like stay far away. That's the only time you should really use that. It ain't no peacock where you can throw out like 2 giant projectiles at the same time. Sometimes 3 and 4 actually if you know what you're doing. I think you can even do more if you spend meter and do all sorts of funny hit stop things. But either way, yeah. Bird insurance, okay, so the way you actually deal with bird insurance, I'm going to go ahead and say it, is the easy answer is chicken block land cancel. I say easy answer like very, very deliberately, because it is not an easy thing to do. The idea is to hold up back just when the bird insurance is in startup, and then bird insurance will hit you on your up while you're going upward and then immediately start sending you downward again. You block it so you don't take any damage, and then you land cancel so you're not in block stun. If that's really elaborate for you, think of it this way. When you touch the ground, you're free to do whatever you want after a couple frames usually. So you jump, block it in the air, land, and now you have recovered really, really fast. If that's also too complicated for you, just up back when you see bird insurance coming. That's all you really got to think of it as. I'm gonna put a video into chat, or yeah, a link into chat that describes chicken block land canceling in more detail. If I can find it. Emphasis on me finding this. Come on, please tell me I have this. Chicken block land cancel. Yes, I'm so prepared. Why am I so good at my job? Alright, so let's, where the heck was I? Here I am, alright. That was sort of last minute last week too. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So like, I only just returned to Get Great. My life was pretty hectic, and I may have rushed it a little bit just because like there are still a lot of things I wanted to sort out. It was just a bad week to come back. But I think it should be much more smooth sailing going forward. I'm not expecting to disappear anytime soon. So hopefully that should iron out the kinks, and hopefully we can bring popularity back to Get Great by not being such a clusterfuck. Penny did a fantastic job, all things considered. And almost literally killed the stream way back because of their restricting PR skills. Shout out to N for starting Get Great, and that's about it. He's vanished. He kept on complaining about how I'm not going to be friends with him after a while, and then he just stopped being my friend. It's weird. Either way, I like the intention of Dry Eyes. Dry Eyes up back there to deal with bird insurance. You want to do it a little bit closer to the startup of it, so you don't want to just hold up back and hope for the best. You want to do it just as bird insurance is coming down. It's a little bit of a timing that needs practicing, but I mean, Skullgirls is such an in-depth game. Pretty much everything comes down to matchup per matchup practice. So when you're fighting Eliza, that's should be your reflex. You want to wait for bird insurance, up back, chicken block land cancel it, and then you want to do a punch. Just hit him with standing light punch. Beat him up. Give him the good old. These American resets. Hell yeah. This is beginner bracket. I don't expect them to do real resets. I've never fought an Eliza. Help. Really? Well, I'm really glad I gave you this matchup then. Because normally if someone's really bad at a matchup, and they're like, please, whatever you do, don't give me Squiggly or something like that. I'm like, well, I guess I gotta give you Squiggly now. Good old Butcher's Blade. Okay, so if you've never fought Eliza, if you haven't done the tutorial on her, basically how she works is, oh wow, PBGC, nice. That was actually pretty smart, all things considered. Even though you whiffed, like the intentions were there that were really, really I forgot what I was going to say, and I'll just forget about that. Because I can't keep my mouth shut then. Bro, but the point of this stream is to like help people improve. If you're struggling with a matchup, the only way you're gonna improve is by playing it. Sad story, I know. Okay, so there are two really, really cool things that Dry Eyes did. When he PBGC'd earlier and whiffed his beat extend, he not only beat extended, but he also did an absolute guard. Dry Eyes, if you don't know what absolute guard is, message me and I'll let you know. But long story short, it's basically the entire point of absolute guard is that you switch what direction you're blocking while you're push blocking, and if you do that, you're actually blocking both high and low, which is really, really, really important. Lets you block in both directions at the same time. And then you go into, and then because once your push block finishes, you can go into PBGC, which lets you do a move and you flash green and pretty. I'm gonna put links in chat for both of those mechanics, in case you don't know what they are, so that if you're watching the VOD, you can actually click those links. PBGC and Absolute Guard. Yes. There we go. Help, Crank, don't make me fight Crank. You're not fighting Crank. But Hillbilly's right. If you want to understand the basic mechanics of Eliza, definitely just do Eliza's tutorial. Every character has a super, super easy tutorial. I say that relatively speaking, of course. Like, it is a fighting game. Everything's hard in fighting games, especially if you're not used to them. But, like, yeah, if you can do shit like that, like just like a couple of strings on band, then you should be more than fine to pick up any character. It might take a little bit of time, but if you do their tutorial, it should be good enough to at least help you understand what the hell they're all about. Like, what are the different moves they have, what they're all used for, all sorts of things. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. PBGC. God damn, I don't know if you've been doing that on accident or what, but like, your timing on that is pretty consistent. I'm impressed. I never did all the character tutorials. That's probably what's holding you back, Servant. Just letting you know. Understanding all the characters is important. It's probably not holding you back that much, honestly. If you just play the game for a couple hundred hours, like, you pretty much know all the characters anyways. But it's great, because I did the Valentine tutorial actually pretty recently, which I'm kind of embarrassed about. And I actually had no idea how some of her inputs worked. They're all really weird. I kind of like it. I knew how all of her mechanics worked, but like, I knew like the name of most of her moves and everything. It's just, I never actually knew the exact input for them. It's kind of crazy. Like her command grab, I did not guess that was the input. Ooh, that beat extend. Okay. So, I mean, it worked out in your favor. Never mind. I'm not paying super close attention to see if they actually just fell into that after the beat extend, or if you were actually a plus. I should double check on that. Yeah. But what you're demonstrating is actually another perfect solution to bird insurance, whereas if you absolute guard and then you go into beat extend or some other punish move, that's plenty worth it. Snap spoop skeleton. Oh, thank you, Hillbilly. That's actually a good point. So there are two types of armor in this game. There's normal armor and then there's hyper armor. So you're playing Big Band, so you know that heavy brass and heavy A-Train have 2 hits of armor, right? Well, actually, A-Train has 3 hits of armor, I think, if I remember correctly. It's kind of weird. But yeah, those have plenty of armor. It's fantastic. It's great. But if you get hit by a sweep, or if you get grabbed, you kind of lose all that armor. Plot twist is there's actually a third way to get rid of armor, and that's a snapback. So if you do quarter circle forward and then medium punch, medium kick, or heavy punch, heavy kick, you force your opponent to swap a character. It's called a snapback in most fighting games. In this game, it's called an outtake. Same thing, though. If you do that, you will snap them out, but it also breaks armor. It's a very expensive, because it uses a meter, very expensive way to break armor. It's fantastic. Really cool, actually. I highly recommend not using that unless you think that's like your only solution, but it is a valid solution too. It's like a very, very good solution to get rid of armor. When it comes to hyper armor, Eliza Skeleton has hyper armor. Hyper armors are immune to sweeps. They'll like eat the sweep, but they're still grabbable and they'll still die to snaps, which is super useful. In fact, most people use snaps to get rid of Eliza Skeleton, just because Eliza Skeleton is very spooky. I'm not saying that to meme, like I mean like it's actually really tough to deal with. PBGC into light brass. Interesting. If you're going to PBGC into a brass, I highly recommend you do M brass, unless you're positive they're going to somehow block it. If they're going to block it, then you shouldn't have PBGC'd in the first place, really. You should just push block. Nice jumping over that standing hard. Man, good sense of neutral right there. Well played by Dry Eyes. Bird insurance, there we go. Yeah, Jonathan Hills, like I said in the first game, like, bird insurance is too good. It's so good. Oh, a little bit slow on that link there. Gotta pick up that speed. Yeah, that'll just come with practice. Do Eliza's trials to get used to her strings a little bit more. Yeah, you'll understand how the speed at which she's supposed to be played. I highly recommend everyone does the trials for characters in this game. They're, you don't have to do it for every character, like the tutorials, but you should at least try to do your characters, if you're not familiar with the character yet. Like if you're trying to pick up a new character. Super, super useful. Got that command grab super, let's go. Dang, pulling through at the end. Alright. So Dries, you seem to have the mechanics there. You seem to have this handle on the things you should be doing to beat Eliza. Jumping over her, like, far-reaching normals, like such as a standing hard punch, like you did, and then before she can turn around, just grabbing her. That was good. Push block guard canceling to get through the bird, and then going into either beat extend or brass or whatever. Solid idea. There are better things you could be doing, though, and a lot of that comes down to you're just not familiar with combos Big Man can do, because I only saw a couple of strings at most from coming out of Big Man. There are a lot of times where if you just push block guard cancel, instead of going to beat extend, just go into like a crouching medium punch or something. You can go into a full combo because of that. I think you just do what? Crouching medium punch, crouching hard punch, E-break into like a full air string set. Like there's so many ways. Literally every button you hit could probably lead into a full combo, besides like brass and A-Train. And even beat extend, if you pick up your character, you get a full OTG-less combo you can do. It's all sorts of fun times. So look more into your character. As I always say about the beginner bracket, please check out the BNB Compendium. The BNB Compendium can be found by typing !BNB into Twitch chat. It takes you to a Skull Heart thread with unoptimized combos for everybody. They're all 240 on Dizzy though, so they're all universal. They're all really good. They're not great, they're good. They're really, really good for understanding what your character can do. The reason we tell you to learn a combo with your character is because there are only a handful of games like this, really. But in this game, you're only really going to understand your character by pushing buttons. Like you really gotta get used to the timing at which like a lot of your moves have to come out. You gotta understand links. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say this is one of the few games. Most games are like this, but this is one of the few games where you're going to learn it best through just doing combos. The combo system in this game is so intuitive and so fluid that it's going to be the easiest way to get the feel for your character. And that's the most important part. We don't want you to learn a long combo because we just need you to do more damage, which, I mean, also helps. But we need you guys to become more familiar with the character so we can start talking about more advanced things like better resets, not American resets. Hillbilly threw out a term earlier called American resets. American resets are bad. Long story short, they're just like setups that you trick your opponent with that are not good. Like there's no reason that should have tricked your opponent. Like you just kind of hit a medium. Like they just weren't blocking. It's the only reason they got hit by it. So it's kind of dumb. There are other things too. Like long story short, we can't talk about like really, really elaborate topics that is gonna really spike how well you play until you're just more familiar with the character. Do your BNBs. Make sure you can do it 10 times in a row consistently against characters in the training room. If you can do that, then you're probably pretty solid. Can't do Eliza tutorials because you don't have Eliza. You can do every character's tutorial even if you don't have Eliza, or even if you don't have them, I think, right? Can someone correct me? Can anyone correct me? Can you actually not do Eliza's tutorial because you don't have the character? Also, technically, if you bought the game, if you bought Skullgirls Second Encore, you should also have access to Skullgirls Second Encore Beta, which has all the characters already unlocked. So you should still be able to try Eliza there. I'm checking right now. Okay, thanks. You have the beta that lets you do them, right? Yeah. What Robot said. Unless you got it through Humble Bundle. I think there was like a glitch where if you got it through Humble Bundle, you didn't get the beta, which was really stupid, but whatever. The beta is the same game that we have right now, except with all the characters unlocked. Let's see. That was 5 games. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for participating. Jonathan Hills, become a little bit more familiar with Eliza Strings. Also, really use the sewer alligator thing a lot more. Albus, I think it's called. Yeah, there we go. It's coming back to me. Horace, aka Bird Insurance, use it a ton at the end of block strings. You might want to learn to stagger a little bit, like press your moves a little bit more slowly. And while that's a little bit more unsafe, it'll trick your opponent's timing. It'll confuse your opponent's timing a little bit and trick your opponent. You're more likely to get a hit. The reason I say that's important is because you saw how consistently Dry Eyes was able to PBGC you, which is actually pretty rare. Kind of crazy, honestly. Okay, what else? Oh, I know what else. We got a couple more matchups. Moving on to the intermediate bracket. Let's go ahead and get... Give me a second. There we go. Let's go ahead and get Beverly Hillbilly versus Yo-Yo on stream. Now, there's absolutely zero advice I can actually provide these people because these guys are really good. I mean, Hillbilly I can... No, never mind. These people are fine. A lot of Hillbillies struggle in the past has always come down to execution, but when Hillbilly gets it right, it's fantastic. It's pretty impressive. Hillbilly plays really well when it comes to set play sometimes, and Yo-Yo consistently plays really well, and usually memes on me by playing Slow Squiggly. Anytime, Loomis. Wait, are you Jonathan Hills? I believe that you are Jonathan Hills for no legitimate reason. Yes, alright, thank you. What's that? Play Solo Squig? Yo, I shit you not. I've been playing Solo Squig for the last few months, and I almost entirely take back that, I mean, she's not a good solo, but she totally works. You really don't need an assist with her. What you need is meter. And I mean, I guess that's always been my original argument, right? Where, like, the reason Solo Squiggly works is because you just desperately need meter. But if you don't heavily rely on meter, which is impossible to do well with Squiggly if you don't rely on meter, she just kind of works solo disturbingly well, actually. Her kit is extremely powerful for solo. Got the medium dive kick, went for an early reset, kind of irresponsible with the Undizzy, but that's okay. Went for an early red burst bait, got the pop! Going for a launcher airstring combo, fast dive kick to miss the link, and on purpose, of course, to get that same side mix up right there. Hits him low. Sailbilly was not down backing, so that was actually a slow reset. Ooh, got that cross-up overhead. Super sneaky with the Valentine. Hillbilly does that one pretty consistently. Not the BNB. That BNB has a history of giving him struggle. Yo! Smart reactions! Dang, Hillbilly, you've been playing. Oh my god, I don't know why that link didn't work. I'm so sad. I don't understand this character. I don't understand how Valentine. Maybe she just doesn't work. Push plopping, the armor run through the jab. That's so good. It's not a jab, it's like, what was it, standing leg kick? Whatever. Yo, look at this boy go. Hillbilly, if you're free on Wednesday nights, you should really play in this B-grade tournaments. I want to see how far you get. Unless it's like not good for your mental health, then don't do that. But like, I highly recommend you play in tournaments with the same level of like, just the same cadence? The same cadence? No, what's the term? The same mannerisms in which you're playing now. Alright, it's the big boss double. Double herself. Super evil. Frog! Get the car, finish off Bella. It's unfortunate we didn't get to see a lot of Bella magic happen. Oh man, crossover. Wasn't actually even a crossover, it was just a counter hit. I think Valentine just pressed the button. Went for another frog. God, so many frogs. Yeah, that's double for you.
That's all, folks.
They only block low? Interesting. I will keep an eye out for that, because this time it seemed like Hillbilly was not blocking low enough. Oh, actually, then again, in the corner, they just get hit overhead over and over again. So maybe in the corner, they were down backing too much. Mid-screen, they were definitely standing blocking when they should have been able to block a low, which is unfortunate. They also didn't block the overhead reset that came from Skullgirls. So maybe you're right. Maybe they do only block, or they block a low too much, I should say, specifically.
This may sting a bit. Gentlemen and ladies, it's showtime!
So this is weird advice, Hillbilly, but I actually recommend doing the trials of characters that aren't yours. Learn what other characters do, and the reason I say that is because at certain strings, like especially Squiggly, actually Squiggly's more exceptional characters, like Squiggly, Parasol, and Double especially have very, very restricting follow-ups after a lot of their strings. So like while there might be great, fantastic characters, it's pretty easy to predict what's gonna come next. And if you're having trouble with high-low mix-ups, the only way you're going to really become familiar with, oh man, what's going to come next, is by either fighting them a bunch, or more accurately, just kind of learning their character. Like, if you just kind of do their strings, be like, oh, okay, after crouching light kick, they're always going to do crouching medium kick. Why would they do anything else? And crouching medium kick happens to hit low. Oh, that's crazy. And so, like, you'll learn to always block low for the first two normals, and then, like, maybe switch guards after that. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Got the counter hit too. Yeah, using the hit stop of center stage. Liver Mortis drops the link. That's unfortunate. Got that overhead. Yeah. But see, the startup of that overhead is like 23 frames. If you just practice in the lab reacting to that, it actually it turns into a funny little arcade game of like, can I block the high-low mix-up? That's usually pretty funny. But B, also, you'll learn to realize, like, wow, that's, like, super obvious. It's coming. Completely reactable. Not consistently reactable. I shouldn't say that it's consistently reactable. I mean, on paper, it should be consistently reactable, but it's very rare that anyone consistently reacts to that. It's just that mental frame advantage. That being said, you should be able to react to it, like, I don't know, a third of the time pretty reliably. 2/3 of the time if you're good. For anyone who's wondering why I'm not giving Yo-Yo any advice, it's because Yo-Yo's better than me. He's meat but stronger.
Time for your physical. This battle is all in the mind.
I actually don't know right. I mean, I stopped playing Skullgirls for just about a week or two, because I had a friend over. But I wonder if once I'm back in the groove of Skullgirls, back when I'm playing like to my normal ability, I wonder if I can actually beat Yo-Yo. I've beaten him in a first attempt multiple times before. Multiple times? Okay, maybe only once. I don't actually know how many first attempts we did. We might have literally only done one. Okay, Hillbilly, a bit of advice. So, I mean, SBO eats projectiles, right? So you won't be able to throw shurikens. But if you super jump and throw the shuriken, throw heavy shuriken after a super jump, it might reach over the SBO. I'm not positive about that, but you should actually just super jump a lot more in general. Super jumping gives you a lot of extra height that's super useful on Valentine. That's just from my experience of actually playing Valentine. I've realized I've been able to out-neutral Penny a lot more consistently if I'm using super jump. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar with how super jump works, when you're on the ground, you tap down and then up very, very quickly. If you tap down right before you jump, then you end up going about 20% higher or something like that. It used to be a lot higher. It was almost double height. But they changed that a lot. And honestly, it might be for the better. It's a little weird. Mike Z said he liked it a lot. I thought it was kind of cool. but it did feel really just crazy to just be that high. It was like 60% extra jump height or something like that. It's still pretty crazy. Oh, cross under grab. That's interesting. You could have done people's elbow on the way down, I think. You would have been able to punch that. That's crazy. You could have done anything on the way down, probably punch that. That's one fun way to stuff heavy bypass, I guess. Wow, that conversion. Oh my god, that's actually really tight. Well done, Hillbilly. Yeah. So against Parasol specifically, and I might be wrong about this, you might want to rely on... I don't know. I guess you might want to stagger heavy lock and load at the end of like block strings and stuff, so that and hope that Yo-Yo does pillar a little bit early. And the main reason you want to do that is just so you armor through the thing and then you can Kara cancel before lock and load goes off into 360. You can't Kara cancel into 360 until after Pillar's first active frame, because otherwise Parasol is invulnerable and she'll just go right through it and they'll probably beat you out, which kind of sucks. Or maybe, can you end block strings and Titan Knuckle? Is Titan Knuckle a command normal? I don't think it is. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Good job. We'll be right back after these messages.
I don't know, against someone who's mashing Pillar, I don't know why more people don't just tumble run. One hit of armor and you can go into, what's it called? Not Devil Horns. Is it Devil Horns? No, it's not Devil Horns. Devil Horns is DP. Why am I forgetting the name? The points move. Battle Butt? Sure, let's go with that one. It's the, this is Battletoads move. Battle Butt, thank you. If you notice your opponent is trying to space you out with jumping hard punch a lot, Hillbilly, then use crouching hard, or crouching hard is a beautiful anti-air for you. But more than that, it's just like all of that entire dragon length across the screen is completely hittable. It's like not. It's like it's not great. Long story short, so like, if you notice that they're spacing you out like that, try to keep that space with them, because that's only to your advantage. You can hit them with almost any move. All right, so okay, gotta get good at Kara cancel. When you armored through the first hit of that, you should have immediately canceled into 360. You would have beaten out Squiggly no matter what she was doing. The frame you get dinked, the frame you see like you flashing golden, that exact frame is when you want to be hitting 360 if you're perfect. And if your opponent daisies first, then you can go into battle butt instead or something. I don't know if that will be enough to save you though. It's kind of tricky. You only have like a frame. That might not be enough, now that I think about it. It's unfortunate. Oh, chipped out. Oh my god, the parry! Or not the parry, the reflect. That was almost super cool. So here's a little niche thing that I don't know if everyone's aware of this. Both the players here probably are aware of this, but when you push block any sort of projectile damage, it only does it doesn't really do damage to you in a sense, or it does what's it called, red damage, I think is the slang for it, where you'll notice 100% of the damage from projectiles while you're push blocking will be completely healable. Like it'll show up as red damage on the health bar, Because of that, I highly recommend you guys do that against projectiles if you think you're just going to have to eat it. And the reason is because then you can just tag out or something and heal it back. Interesting spacing with jumping hard kick. Worked out. Got the conversion. Went for an early grab. So when people go for early resets, it's kind of interesting because as a combo... So resets are... You got to remember, keep in mind, everything resets do. So resets... Fundamentally, yeah, sure, they help you build more meter. Yeah, sure, they help you make sure your damage stays high. But the real reason people go for resets, like, if you think about it, just go back to the roots of the combo system with Skullgirls. The reason you reset is because you're running out of undizzy. Like, that green meter below your health, because it's filling up, that's the only reason you really go for resets. All the other stuff is important, yeah, absolutely. But that is the true limiting factor, and that's the real reason you guys want to go for resets. Probably the fundamental reason. A lot of people get so caught up in a lot of the like more interesting aspects of resets that they kind of forget why they're resetting in the first place. So because of that, I highly recommend limiting how often you go for early resets. Normally you want to do like a kind of long combo, then go for an early reset, then go for a reset, then go for another early reset to help reduce the undizzy a little bit more. When you go for an early reset right away on your first string, it's just kind of silly. Like, it's like, well, you congratulations, you reduced the 0-1 dizzy you built up. Like, why'd you do that? This applies to both these players, actually. Just saying. That's 5 games. Well played. Hillbilly, you should really play in Gr8 tournaments. If you're okay with playing in tournaments, I highly recommend it. I think you would do phenomenal. If you won, that'd be crazy. I honestly don't think you're quite there yet. I don't think you might even make it a top 4, but I think it's gonna really give you like a variety of experiences that's gonna be useful. I think everyone actually should sign up for Gr8. I just think Hillbilly would be particularly interesting. I'm actually kind of surprised that Hillbilly is not playing Gr8 more than anything else. But yeah, I do think Gr8, of course, is open to everybody. You know, it's not just one or the other. What's the easiest way to learn DP facing left? Yeah, it's just forward, quarter circle forward is the easiest input for it. Naturally, as you get good at the game, you'll find yourself not finishing the quarter circle. You'll just be doing the normal Z motion you're supposed to do. And the reason you do that is because your body just gets better and better at like trimming the fat, so to speak. But while you're learning, yeah, just do forward, quarter circle forward. In this case, you were testing what block Bev preferred. Why couldn't you test what block Bev preferred after one more string? Because if you are testing what block they prefer, right, then you're either going to get a reset or they're going to block it, right? So that means one way or the other, you're still ending your stuff. If you're ending your stuff, that means your undizzy is going to go down. But if you built up no undizzy, you're just kind of throwing away free damage and meter, honestly. It's I don't know. I don't quite buy that as a good reason to do a reset when you have no undizzy. That being said, that doesn't mean there's no reason not to do a reset at no one dizzy. Because your opponent is not expecting you to do a reset when you have no one dizzy, you're more likely to get the hit on them, that's for sure. But that's not... That shouldn't sell you on it, so to speak. That shouldn't be your selling point on why you're doing a reset so early. There's a thing called set play that I think is super important, which is the order in which you do resets, which resets you do and why, and having it completely planned out, like how many resets you'll need depending on which reset you get. It's like a super flowcharty map thing. So for example, I have multiple routes laid out where if I get the first reset I go for, which will be on my 4th string, I can kill you. I need 1 meter, literally. If I at the beginning of the game, if I get that hit and I get that meter, then that's all I need to be able to kill you. And that's set play. If you go for a reset for no reason really early on, unless you really need it for your set play, I don't get it. It's long story short, I just don't get it. Snipe him, slam him to the ground. Mess with that Oki a little bit, using Pinion to cover you. Kind of interesting. Nice lock and load. Do we convert? We do. Let's go. Bike guy all the way to the corner. I killed him. I don't think you were expecting that. Alright, just keeps the same side incoming. Does not go for the mix up there. Wants to keep the corner. I respect that. You have a good advantage. Just keep it. Very playing smart. Against trickier opponents, you might want to mix up by walking past Phileas' corpse a little bit and then make him come out the other side. Even if it means you're giving up the corner where Parasol is the strongest, it might be worth it to trick your opponent last second. It's just an option you might want to have. Variant, your parasol's gotten pretty solid. A couple of links you might need to work on, but it looks overall real smooth. I'm liking it. A little bit slow. That's about it, though. Oh, you're talking about why you didn't link your crouching hard punch to other stuff properly. Oh, my bad. My bad. I hate crouching heavy punch to mediums. Oh, okay. Crouching hard punch to mediums is weird, just because the hits between crouching hard punch are so wide that if you stancel at the wrong frame, you just kind of don't get the link. It's really fucking annoying. So I'm totally with you on that one, I guess. I got your back. Well won my variants. By the way, just as a reminder, if there are any lag issues, please let me know. So this is immediate in beginner intermediate bracket. How's it determined where you go? It's technically determined by you. You get to decide. In general, we're more likely to give you advice about your combo routing and just like how your fundamentals with your character in beginners. And intermediates, I kind of expect you to be familiar enough with your character, like no L reset, no 240 on dizzy combos consistently. And if you can do all that, then you're going to get the most out of intermediate. I'll be a lot more likely to talk about frame data in intermediate, and you'll also be up against significantly harder opponents in intermediate. So that's I don't decide that for you. Like, you can choose which bracket you want to be in. Although if you're in intermediate and I think you should work on stuff that I normally talk about in beginners, I will tell you to go join beginners. And vice versa is true as well. A real robot said, "I'm sorry for what you're about to see." I think you're fine. A variant is really good. B, good reversal. Solid DHC. You got to D. Yeah, that sucks. Gotta work on that timing. You had OTG. You saw the purple flash. You definitely could have gotten that tight knuckle. That's some solid extra damage you could have gotten. Oh, that cross was weird. Oh, that low was weird. No conversion. Variant, you gotta work on those. That was solid. You had like a solid setup there. Yeah, that conversion should have happened. So, this is the funny thing about Bello. I don't know why every player does this. Don't mash 360. That's not... Unless you're expecting your opponent to do a DP or something like that, but they're grab vulnerable or something. Like, it's such a niche reason to do 360 from a defensive standpoint. Use Diamond Dynamo. You would have beaten Variant if you just used Diamond Dynamo. It hits people in the air. Got that counter hit though. Careful when you're pressing buttons. Nice, got that counter hit though. Alright. Yeah, I don't know. Robot, you're playing fine. Like, I wouldn't take this too hard. This is also, if you're struggling in this matchup at all, then, like, this is perfect. I always have said, and this might just be a me thing, I don't understand it, why people like winning so much. Because you don't improve by winning. And what I mean by that is, when you lose, you know you obviously messed up. Like, there's no reason you should have lost if you didn't make a mistake. When you win, it's interesting because you don't know if you played perfectly, or if it's because your opponent was bad. Like, in general, it's obviously safe to say that your opponent was bad. And if you have really, really high analytical skills, you can find out exactly what you did wrong, what you can improve on, even when you win. Of course, all of that is true. But it's so much easier to know how much you fucked up if you would just kind of, you know, lose. As silly as that sounds. So I personally have always preferred losing, because you get the most information out of it. So if you're struggling in this matchup, I think this is a good thing. And like Variant, like for example, even though Variant won, Variant got some information. Like Variant's like, oh, okay, so between that, like the hit of like forward hard, not forward, it was like back hard kick or something like that. The one where she does the X kick, like my opponent has enough of a gap in their block string to be able to mash up. And Variant might have already known that. Variant might have not known that, but now Variant got that information. Sure, but Variant still won, and there's much less likely to just probably focus on that. Yeah, that's the bad side about Tumble Run. It's armored, but that still makes it grabbable, and hit grabs count. Bad guy bully.
Ready, number 13.
Ooh, yeah. So, in case you're not familiar with Painwheel, which I expect you to be familiar with Painwheel, because this is an intermediate, make sure you remember that she has a lot of Hatred armor, especially when she has Hatred installed. I think it's called Hatred Guard, actually. Whatever. When she has Hatred installed, she has an extra hit of armor on all her moves. So, expecting to bust out of that is no good. Your best option is actually just to grab and sweep, I think. I think you can still sweep her. So, like, go for hard kicks, crouching hard kicks specifically, and go for, which I think is, I don't think this is universal, but I think it's really fast on most characters. I think it's like 15 frames or something really stupid. So go for sweeps and go for grabs. Those are great. Don't even go for supers. Oh, supers sometimes work too, but I don't recommend it. Yo, there actually exists bracket guidelines. They're in the FAQ on the Steam group chat. It's been there for 2 years. Nobody looks at it. They're there. Yeah. So Hydra, if you're on, the guidelines say this also, just because Yo-Yo brought it up. But yeah, we have guidelines for what belongs in beginner and what belongs in intermediate. What I really should do is make a Twitch command so I can just pull it up on a moment's notice. But yeah, what we say in the guidelines is if you're not sure what bracket to go in, just go in beginners. We'll tell you to go to intermediate. We think you're way too good for beginners. Got the wall bounce. Pick it up with standing hard. Let's go. Nice. Got the cross up overhead. I was. So that's total. That one's totally on you. That one string into the cross up instant overhead after the wall bounce is like used by everybody. Like every person who plays Philia does that. So switch your card. Long story short, it'll still hit a lot of people. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a tricky fucking setup, but you should definitely just switch your card there. And that will come with practice, of course. But that one's on you. You should have seen that coming. This is what I meant when I said Beverly Hillbilly versus... no, it wasn't. Was it Hillbilly versus Yo-Yo? Or I might have said Jonathan Hills versus Dry Eyes. I don't remember. I said it sometime earlier where just learn other characters because you'll... Oh yeah, it was Hillbilly. I was talking about him playing squiggly tutorials. Because if you just learn other characters, you'll realize that there are really obvious times when certain mix-ups or moves will come out because there's no reason or no ability to do it during other times. So in which case, that's kind of the best way to realize, oh wow, I'm about to get cross-stuffed here. Or I'm about to get overhead here. You can learn that from playing this game a whole bunch. Or you can just kind of learn the character. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. You had the right idea there. That was perfect. I would have done it a couple frames later, just so Philia could have slid under the tier a little bit further, so you wouldn't have been interrupted by the tier. But I don't actually know if that would have worked. That would have been a risk I would have been willing to take. God, I'm so hungry. Crank, did you know that without a charge, you can one frame link the forward heavy punch stance under crouching medium punch? Which hit of forward heavy punch? Because I thought it was plus... if you stancel forward heavy punch, I thought you were plus 11. Are you plus 14? If you stancel forward heavy punch, you should be plus 11, is what I've always thought. Oh no, I'm thinking of hard punch. Hard punch, you're plus 11, I think. Yes. Wait. Yes, wait. Plus 10? Plus 11. Plus 11, yeah. You're plus 11. Big Tony had a big tweet on it. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, well played by these two players. Okay, so standing hard punch is plus 11. Forward heavy punch must be plus 14. So you can link into crouching medium punch. That's kind of gross. Oh my god, that changes like Uncharged Squiggly's routing by so much. I literally just realized it. This is actually really important. Oh my god, I can break her chargeless combo because of this. You can do so much damage with that. Oh my god, I haven't done combo routing stuff in like a year. Oh my god, I'm gonna want to optimize this. Yo, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'm going to break Squiggly next time you see me. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for Skullgirls Get Gr8. We won't have an open lobby. I apologize if we haven't had open lobby in a while. It's time issues. We just don't have the time. If you guys really want the open lobby, make a petition for it in the Get Gr8 Discord, which you can find by typing !Discord into Twitch chat. Let me quickly take care of that. Yes, Discord. There you go. It's open to public. Anyone can join. This is a good time. We have rules. Follow them. I haven't yelled at them yet, but there have been a couple people who've been talking about politics that was extremely unwelcomed in the Discord. We don't deal with that shit. If you want to show everyone what you learned, there's a tourney on Wednesdays. Yes, thank you, Yo-Yo. If you feel like you're going to be practicing a lot, got some solid information, you want to put it into practice, fight people in tournaments, and we in fact host a tournament every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. It's open to everybody, and the fourth week of every month is a prize pool tournament, which is super cool. There's money that comes straight from my pocket, straight back to the players. And for the record, this stream does take donations and bits and stuff like that. And we are a nonprofit stream, believe it or not. All of that money goes straight back to the players. It's used to, like, any donations or any subscriptions made to this channel, just kind of increase the prize pool for that month. So yeah, if you want to support players, feel free. This is one way to do that. It's pretty easy. Yeah, so stop by the tournament, and other than that, we go live every Saturday at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, etc., etc. Apologize for not having signups this week. We will have signups for next week out in, like, literally 20 minutes. Like, I'll have it ready to go. I just didn't have any technology available. And yeah, I could have done it through my phone, but, like, I had no time. This week's been pretty hectic, in a good way, but, like, still hectic. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. If you have any questions based on the VODs you guys see, which will also go onto YouTube very soon, please let me know. Just at me in the Discord, or at Penny, or at JP, or at any of the really talented players that we have in our Discord. And we'll see what happens.